Every day I bless your name. Hallelujah. Every day I sing your praise. Hallelujah. Every day I bless your name. Hallelujah. Every day I sing your praise. Hallelujah. 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 Every day I bless you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Every day I sing your praise. Hallelujah. Every day, God, we sing your praises. And tonight we're going to sing them with two incredible musicians and two astonishing, incredible people, Joni Leeds and Susan Linder. I want to tell you a little bit first about Joni Leeds. Now, I think, but I haven't asked them yet, they might be both Sabras of Miami, Florida, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know they're both Betham girls. And that was one of the reasons I wanted to bring them on together tonight sort of together. And then I also wanted you to see how beautifully they weave from children music to adult music to all the facets of music, for pop music, for kids. So beautifully woven musicians that they are. So let me tell you a little bit first about Joni, and then I'm going to bring her on. Her destiny became obvious to her parents when, at the tender age of 2, Joni grabbed a band mic at a party and belted out the entire song. Tomorrow, that was the song from Annie. Jaws dropped. No one could remember ever hearing a big voice like that coming from something so tiny. And she was a very petite little girl. As a musical theater major at Syracuse University, Joni began composing her own songs. After graduating, she went to New York City. She did everything from bartending and she did bitter end and on stage performing. She did whatever it took to bring her to the place she is today. Life clicked into place when Joni realized that when she was with children, they transformed themselves into amazing creatures of joy, forgetting how to hold back. So seeing the kids get in touch with their true selves gave Joni a sense of fulfillment that far surpassed playing for adults on the club circuit. She has performed in so many places I can't count. She has CDs and music, and you can download her. So without further ado, it is my honor, it's my privilege to bring on my dear friend, my dear friend, Joni Leeds.
Hi.
Hi, Joni.
How are you?
Good. I'm looking at Joni Leeds, but on my the top of my screen it says Andrea Levine. So I almost brought on Andrea. I hope you were ready, Andrea.
She's waiting in the wings. Hi, it's so good to see you.
It's wonderful to see you. Were you born in Miami?
I was born and raised Baptist Hospital.
So you and we're Sabras.
That's right.
I think Susan is too, but we'll find out. There's not so many of us around.
It's true. I know. I'm a unicorn. People in Syracuse, when I went to college, they didn't believe anyone was actually born in Miami. It was this very funny joke.
Right. Yeah. That everybody was either from New York or Chicago and transplanted.
Right. Of course.
All right. So getting into more about who you are. So Joni, you grew up in Miami. You are a Temple Betham graduate.
Yep.
Who did your bat mitzvah?
Oh, that would be you. And Cram, and Rabbi Cram.
Me and Rabbi Cram. How wonderful.
Yes.
So go on and tell us more about how you got into this musical place in your life.
Well, I think, I tell this story a lot, but when you're growing up as a young kid, there's not a lot of real musical opportunities unless you're in New York and right around Broadway to have music as a part of your life as far as performing. But when you're a part of a temple or a church, I feel like there's a lot of opportunity. So I was in the High Holiday Choir with Jackie Burney. I sang on the Bema with you quite a dozen times. I have such wonderful memories of learning how to play guitar to become a song leader for Sefti. Back in the day, it was called Sefti. I was part of BAFTI. I took music classes at Saturday school, Sunday school with Susan Shane Linder. So
Aw,
it's a reunion up in here.
it's
And
going to be
then,
great.
I took my guitar playing skills, having never written a song, but I knew all of these songs from being a song leader. I brought them with me to college. I started writing music in college, very angsty, romantic love songs. And
Yes.
then I moved to New York City and kept doing that for a little while. And then I got into children's music. And because I was working at Gymboree playing music, and I was really
Oh,
inspired by the kids. And I thought it was a really wonderful thing to do, to give back and write for kids instead of, singing in bars until 2 in the morning. So
right.
it was a little bit different, but it was definitely a really wonderful path for me. And 9 albums later, here I am.
Nine
So
albums
of children's music.
of
I've done quite
children's
a
music.
couple of adult albums as well.
Wow.
And
Where would we
recently, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
where would we find all your 9 albums?
All of the albums are on all of the things.
So
So
CD.
CD Baby doesn't actually sell physical albums anymore. It's kind
Oh,
of this new thing that's been going on. I always say the best way to get music is straight through an artist's website, especially now. Streaming is really nice, but purchasing an album directly from an artist is definitely the best way to go because we
really?
see 100% of the profits minus postage.
I never even knew that. So the
Yeah.
best way is just to go to jonileads.com.
Order the physical album. If you don't have a CD player, then iTunes, you can buy the album there. Support artists as best you can right now. It's kind of rough for all of us because all of our
Always.
tours are canceled. So,
Right, always support artists. And I know from a lot of our congregants with children that your CDs are playing in everybody's cars, or they're certainly downloaded MP3s. So you are very
thank
popular
you.
all around the world. So before we go on, could you give us a kid's song, a children's song that you've written?
Sure. So I wanted to sing a song from my new album. It's not a Jewish album, but I did write a song about a very inspirational Jewish woman. Her name is RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. This is the
Wow.
album, if you can see. Da, da,
All the
da.
ladies.
And this album I just released in April, so very recently, right after the pandemic hit. It was like right away. It was kind of crazy timing, but there's people on this album, all female: Lisa Loeb, Chava Morel, Kyler England, Lori Kalantari is the producer of the album. There's 20 women on this album. So
Wow.
I wanted to do an album to empower women, but also all about women and equality. So this is
Fantastic.
RBG.
RBG. Take your time.
Ruth was born in Brooklyn in 1933. No one could have thought that she'd grow up to be that fiery, clever justice, donning the jabot, fighting for equality, dissenting, saying no. Takes a lot of courage to stand and disagree. Come and meet my idol, my favorite supreme. I wanna be just like RBG, fighting for our rights and shining truth. I wanna be just like RBG, the glorious, notorious Ruth, ruffling some feathers while studying the law. Harvard took just 9 smart women, 500 men in all. Ginsburg was on fire, twice made the law review. Graduated #1 whilst a mother too. An advocate for women, so to bring equality. Choosing words strategically and fluent legalese. I wanna be just like RBG, fighting for our rights and shining truth. I wanna be just like RBG, the glorious, notorious Ruth. She never stopped, she never quit. Now on the highest court she sits, to pave the way for other women like you and me. I wanna be just like RBG, fighting for our rights and shining truth. I wanna be just like RBG, the glorious, notorious Ruth, the glorious, notorious Ruth.
Yes. That's wonderful. Has she heard it? Has she heard it?
The jury is out.
The jury is out. Did you
I
try
don't
to
know
send
yet.
Did you send it to her?
Not personally. I have a bunch of people that actually said, "Oh, I know someone who knows her," or "My cousin is friends with her." Or, I'm not totally sure. This released April 3rd,
Wow.
in the middle of a pandemic. So
So
I've just been letting her have her time in a bubble with Purell wrapped all around it.
so tell me again. So this CD that you just did has all these women who have written songs. Have they written songs about women or different themes?
I actually wrote all of the songs on the album. I had a bunch of different females that came and did the
To
singing
perform.
and the instruments. So everybody that's on the album, and even everybody on the technical side. So the engineer, producer, the mastering engineer, the mixing
my
engineer,
gosh.
the photographer, graphic
Everybody was a
designer.
female.
Everybody, yeah, from the beginning to the end. I felt really strongly about it. Having I was actually at the Grammys a couple of years ago, and there was just not a lot of female representation, and I wanted to bring some women into the fold and really empower them, and then also have the message of the album being about empowering women as well. And I thought at the time this was like a really important message, and it totally is. Absolutely. And then March hit, and like the whole world fell apart, and I was thinking, okay, is this going to get any traction? Is this still going to be an important message? And then we made the New York Times, which was really exciting. They did an incredible write-up on the album.
Wow.
Because instead of being able to do my album release, instead I did a music festival called All the Ladies Music Festival, which was very early on. I mean, a lot of people started doing music festivals at the beginning of April, like late March, but we were one of the first, and it got like 17,000 viewers. And it really, I think all of the women that I brought on that day, on April 3rd, the day of the album release, they all came and did a couple of songs. And I just wanted to bring everybody in and show this, camaraderie and just empowerment between women, but also give back to our audiences because nobody's able to perform right now in person.
Right.
So
Tell me about that. How has that affected you now? So you can't perform. Have you been doing a lot of writing?
I haven't actually been doing a lot of writing. I've been doing a lot of creating and learning. I learned how to use a green screen. Ta-da! I have been learning how to use different equipment. And I have been starting this series actually on YouTube. If you have young ones that are interested, it's called Joni's Jukebox Jamboree. And I'm doing music videos every single day with really cool backgrounds such as this.
Right.
Starting from the very beginning of my catalog, number one, album one, going all the way through. And it's like 135 songs. So it'll take me, if I do it Monday through Friday, videos every single day, it'll bring me through almost a year's worth of material. So I thought, well, that will keep me busy for a little while I have no work.
Do you have someone working with you, or are you doing all this by yourself?
I'm doing it on my own.
Wow. You're
Yeah.
amazing.
But I like learning, and I think it's really important when you're a singer-songwriter in this type of climate right now to really be in charge of your own destiny, because nobody's really doing it for you.
Absolutely. It's a very strange time in this world.
It
And
is.
I know people are venturing out and going to restaurants now and stuff, but I think they're taking big chances. Just
Yeah, it's not like that in New York. New
New York,
York's we're not open yet, and I don't anticipate us being open for quite some time. So it's a
yeah,
little
you've
bit
taken
different.
a terrible hit.
Yeah, I've
And
barely left my apartment, to be honest.
wow, that's incredible. All right, how about one more song and then we're going to bring on your buddy Susan.
Yes.
Okay.
So the other project that I haven't mentioned yet, and I will show you if I can show you this, is Joni and Matt, and this is my grown-up project, and we just started at the
Who's
very very end. Matthew Check
and who's
is
he?
he's a friend of mine. We wrote an album together, a Jewish album for kids back in 2009, Chala Chala.
Okay.
And there's some liturgy, there's some, just fun songs like Being a Mensch. I mean, you might be familiar with some of them.
Yes.
So Chala Chala was about 11 years ago, and then we both of our circumstances in life completely changed, and we got back together as a songwriter team, and we created albums based on liturgy. Based on Bible stories. And so the one that I'm about to sing is from Samuel 2, about Jonathan and David. And I actually have never sung this song before because this is his song. And I texted him tonight and I was like, I'm going to sing your song.
Aw,
It's really sad because we're not in the same space, so we can't harmonize. And I really miss harmonizing. I'm sure you can attest to that. It's really
terrible.
hard. Yeah, so hopefully one day Matt and I can come down to Beth and harmonize in real life. That would be
That would be
fun.
wonderful.
Yeah. So I wrote this song regarding Jonathan and David because when we were interpreting the text, a lot of people said that their relationship may have been more complicated than just friendship. The text actually says that I am distressed for you when he found out that he had passed. How did the mighty fall in the midst of battle? Jonathan, on your high places you were slain. I am distressed for you, my brother Jonathan. You were very, very pleasant to me. Your love was more wonderful to me than the love of women. How the mighty have fallen and the weapons of war perished. So we kind of took that as our interpretation. Perhaps they were a couple. And so we wrote, The Mighty Have Fallen.
Beautiful.
Oh, let me take these off real quick. I never thought that I would be so perfect, be so perfectly in love. But you and I are bound, yes, we're so perfect, we're so perfectly in love. Took my soul, gave it to you. You grabbed a hold, no longer two. You took off your robe and your armor, and you placed them on my shoulder. And now, beloved true, when you fell upon that mountain, my heart was shattered through. You meant more to me than all the women do. Oh, the mighty have fallen down there with you. I never thought that I would be so perfect, be so perfectly in love. But you and I are bound, yes, we're so perfect, we're so perfectly in love. So swift above the eagle's soared, so strong and fierce the lion roared. Still I haven't seen you again. Oh Johnny, this can't be the end. true when you fell upon that mountain. My heart was shattered through. You meant more to me than all the women do. Oh, the mighty have fallen down there with you now. Their love is true when you fell upon the mountain. My heart was shattered through. You meant more to me than all women do. Oh, the mighty have fallen down there. The mighty have fallen down there. The mighty have fallen down there with you.
Wow, beautiful. So did you compose that with Matt? Did you compose that with Matt?
Yeah, we actually we met every week for about a year, and he is a scholar. He went to JTS. He's fluent in Hebrew, so I am not any of those things. We went through all of the text line by line, and one night I went home, and I pretty much wrote most of this song, and then I brought it back to him and we tweaked it. And then there were some other songs where he took the lead on the writing, and then there were some that we were literally in the room and like came up with line by line based on text.
Fantastic. Oh, I love it. It's a beautiful melody.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I want to bring on somebody to join you who you know very well, but let me give her a little introduction, and then she'll take over, and then you'll come back.
All right.
So in a moment, I'm going to bring on your dear friend and my dear friend, Susan Shane Linder. She's a Miami-born, award-winning published singer-songwriter and children's recording artist. She's been performing professionally and teaching music for 35 years and is well known throughout the South Florida in preschools, elementary schools, summer camps, bookstores, record stores, hospitals, retirement homes, and many other organizations. She has been all over the map. She presents workshops and performers around the U.S., just like you, and previous engagement including Carnival Cruise Lines and Walt Disney World in Florida. I can go on and on and on and on. She's got great CDs. I'm going to have her introduce them. So now it is my pleasure and my joy to bring on our friend, Susan Linder. Susan.
Hi, everybody.
Susan!
Hello.
I thought the two of you could say hi to each other for a moment.
Oh my
Hi.
gosh.
This is a reunion.
You know, I'm so proud of this one over here, Nelson.
Yep.
I watch her like almost daily.
Oh.
And all right, I beam every time I watch you. I'm like, that's my Joni.
Well, I learned from you, honestly. I can't remember any new songs. It's this funny thing. But the songs that you taught me when I was growing up, I know all of them. Yad be yad, like all of, you know.
That's right.
It could be you. All
That's
of them.
right. They're
Isn't that
good.
incredible? And
Yeah.
what was the Susan, you were Joni's teacher?
Yes. So first of all, I know you said I've been teaching 35 years. It's closer to 40 years.
Oh, well, this is what it's, you have to update your,
Yeah, I think so.
Your
when the school year starts again, it'll be my 40th year teaching.
wow.
So yeah, and I started in Miami at Beth and other schools, synagogues in the area. And Joni was one of my students as a little tyke.
I was probably one of your first students based on my age.
You could have been. You could have been.
I
Mom,
might have
how
been
you
your
grown?
inaugural class.
That's right. Exactly.
That's just incredible. All right, well, Joni, now you get to sit back and watch your teacher.
I will.
All right, thank you, Joni.
Wish me luck.
Hi, Susie.
Hi, Cantor. How are you?
I'm good, Angel. So tell us a little bit about growing up in Miami and how you got involved in Jewish music.
Yeah, by the way, born in Baptist Hospital.
Wow.
Another sister right there. There you go. And so most of my family also. And I think I started off not necessarily in the Jewish music world, but just loving music. You know, when I hear music from, I used to grow up watching the Partridge Family and things like that. And just, it made me happy from the moment I started listening. And then when I was at Camp Coleman, and my dear friend Lisa Siegel was my music teacher there. My first music teacher was Jonathan Baumgard in the religious school at Temple Beth Am.
Oh my gosh.
Right, the rabbi's son. and Patty Sachs was also a great influence on me. And Harriet Potluck, who is the music director there, Jackie Burney, and my mom. There was always music going on in my house. To the whole family, there was always music, and of course you, my friend Cantor Nelson.
Oh,
You, I could listen to you sing anything, and it makes me happy. So I think a combination of everybody just made Jewish music what I do. I do, I do secular and Jewish music, but I think all of it just makes, when it sends out positive messages, it just makes me feel so good.
that's beautiful. And you're working now where?
I work at Congregation B'nai Israel in Boca Raton. Let me make it a little louder over here. Yeah, I'm the music director and song leader there.
Wonderful.
And I teach, we have a little less than 400 students in the preschool.
Wow.
And about the same in our religious school.
Wow.
And I sing for everybody, when they have special occasions, special events. So I get to do the music there also.
And in your spare time, you have this other business of writing and recording and entertaining?
I do. I have a brilliant producer who happens to be a friend of yours also, Paul Hoyle.
Yes.
And boy, so it must have been about 25 years ago or so. I was teaching at the JCC in Miami, and I was teaching with Paul's wife.
Okay.
And she kept saying, you should really make a CD with my husband. And I was thinking, really? And then I said, my husband is upstairs. So I said, I didn't think that was what I should be doing or could be doing. And she said, just go in and make a CD with him. And he's brilliant. He writes all of the music. We collaborate together with the lyrics, but Paul is the music maker, and he's just an amazing person.
Oh, fantastic. So why don't you start us off with something? Let us hear a little bit about who you are musically.
All right. So I was thinking, so by the way, you said about children's music and adults music.
Right.
I pride myself in my music being for everybody, for families. I sing everything to the children, and I sing pretty much what I sing for the children to the grownups.
Okay.
And because I think that it's all a great message for everybody. So I have a song, it's My Lador Vador, it's called Generation to Generation.
Great.
How's that? So that's the one I'll sing. Is that a good idea?
That's a great, we'll take it.
We'll take it. Okay.
We'll take it.
Here we go. From generation to generation, Lador Vador, we need to learn from one another. Lador Vador, from generation to generation, Lador Vador, we need to learn from one another. Lador Vador. As we open the book of life, we can see the pages go by. We're not the first, we're not the last. We are healing, we are light. We carry the torch for those after us. Carry on tradition for the children. From generation to generation, generation. Door by door, we need to learn from one another. Door by door, thousands of years we've lived, all the stories that we've heard. I learned from my parents, who learned from their parents, so we can keep the dream alive. We carry the torch, and those after us carry on tradition for the children. From generation to generation, door by door, we need to learn from one another. Door by door, and the blessings will carry on. The blessings will carry on. And now we're teaching our children, who will teach their children, and the blessings will carry on. Generation to generation, door by door, we need to learn from one another. Door by door, generation to generation, door by door, we need to learn from one another. Door by door, door by door, door by door.
It's a great song. Susie,
Thank you.
I know we're going to have you in a minute doing another. I don't know if Michael can help you, but at least from where I'm sitting, the guitar goes in and out and very, very muffled.
All right. Well,
Not your voice, just the
all right.
guitar.
I just pushed a little button, so maybe that'll help it a little bit.
Give me a strum and let me hear.
From generation to generation.
Better.
Much better. All right.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a little bit about why I wrote that song?
Please.
So I was brought up in my family, my mother and father. My mother, she went to religious school, but she never had Hebrew school. She never became a bat mitzvah. My father did. And, I used to watch my mother as she would light the candles on Friday night. She'd put a napkin on her head and she would say the blessings. And I thought, does she know what she's doing? Is she just saying it because she heard her mother say it, teaching me to say it so that I could teach my children? And so, I followed along in those footsteps. But then also, I have one child, David, and one day I hope he's going to teach his children, who will teach their children. And that way it can go on and on and on. If we don't teach the next generation, then
That's right.
there goes our...
And that's the meaning of door by door.
Yeah. Yep.
So, hearing this weird noise. Okay. So, Susie, tell
Yes.
us about some of your CDs and show us some of the things you've got with you. Your little treasures.
Okay.
Just happen to have them nearby.
Thanks for asking.
No
All right.
problem.
So I started this. David is now 28. Cantor Nelson and I have children the exact same age together. We are very lucky.
Who recorded together?
That's right. And Cantor Nelson's children were on my CD, and her sister and Cantor Nelson. So this is my first CD. It is a children's CD. It's secular music that I wrote when David was 2, so that I had music for my child. Why did I do it? Because in the school, the children kept saying, "Where can we get your music?" And then that's when Paul and I got together. My second CD is this one. It's called Sing 'em a Susan 2. And it's a secular CD. And they're all songs that are story songs. Everything has a positive, upbeat songs for children of all ages. Then I made my first Jewish CD, which is my Shabbat CD. And that again was, so the songs on the Shabbat CD are there's Hebrew and English. Like I said, my mother never knew a word of Hebrew. So I wanted to be able to translate the songs into English. So that became my first Jewish CD. That was singing Shabbat with Susan. So And then I made this one, which is called Singing a New Song. Can you see that? Singing a New Song. And again, so the CDs pretty much progressed with David.
Okay.
He sings song number 7 on all of my CDs.
Oh,
On this one, he sings Forever Young. Every song has a Jewish value or a Jewish lesson. Again, Hebrew and English, so that when you're singing Shir Chadash, you know that it means sing a new song. Hine Matov, how good it is that we're together. So I made all of them with Hebrew and English. This last CD that I made is called Life is Good When You're Single with Susan. Because I always say life is good. It's one of my mantras. And this CD is, again, it's a secular CD, but it is filled with values. So I wanted it to be able to be listened to and sung by everybody, and sort of without anybody really knowing it, it's Jewish.
uh-huh.
I have a song on here called Tradition, which is not necessarily a Jewish tradition, but it could be, you know, whatever team you root for, or whatever Thanksgiving dinners that you have, or picnics that you have with your family. I wanted things that you consider a tradition that you carry on and you pass down to your children and their children. We do this because my mom and dad used to do this, and things like that.
Beautiful.
So that's how that CD came about.
Fantastic. And to get your music, again, the best thing is to go to Susan Linder.
My website, go to Singin' with Susan, SINGIN, no G at the end of singing, singinwithsusan.com.
Okay.
But you could look up Susan Shane Linder. I'm in iTunes and Amazon and Spotify and all the places that you could find music.
That's wonderful. Didn't you win an award for something?
I've won a few awards. I won a Children's Music Award for my Shabbat CD.
Uh-huh.
I won a Parents' Choice Gold Award for my Singing a New Song.
Okay.
I was named Teacher of the Year a few years back. Joni actually won this also. We have the Parents' Picks Award for Best Party Entertainer. I got it in Miami and she got it in New York.
Okay.
So I've won a few.
That's fantastic. All right. Before I bring Joni back in a moment so that we can chat for a couple more minutes, how about another song, Susie?
All right. So this song, this song has a little story. Can you hear this okay?
Much better.
Much better? Okay.
Let me see. Strum again.
Okay.
Much better.
So this story, I'm going to sing you the song about my guitar. Because if you want to know where it started and how it started, when I was 5 years old, I got my very first guitar. And played it, entertained the whole family with it. I played it at my bat mitzvah at Temple Beth Am with Rabbi Shefetz and Rabbi Baumgard. I played it everywhere. And in 1979, I was singing for Harriet Potluck in the singing groups, and I was playing this guitar, and she said, "You need a steel string guitar if you want to play with me." So I took this nylon string guitar and sent it. I either sold it at a garage sale or I traded it or something. I don't remember. And I got a new guitar. And that guitar's right there. The guitar I'm talking about is hanging up on the wall. Hold on. Right. Can you see it right there?
Yeah.
That's the guitar.
That's the one you gave away?
That's the one I gave away.
So what's it doing here?
So in 1979, I sold it and never thought about it again. Guy got a new guitar, life moved on. In 2015, I got a random email from a man in Austin, Minnesota. And he says, "My father found this at an estate sale and sent me a picture of it." He says, "Does it belong to you?" And I was like, "How'd you know this?" Inside the hole of the guitar, I put my name on a piece of masking tape because I was taking it to camp and I didn't want anybody to take it. So I labeled, you label your socks, I labeled my guitar. And it said Susan Shane. And he Googled, 35 years ago, we didn't have Google, so he couldn't find me. So now he Googled my name and he sees that my name is in there. And he Googled my name and he said, does this belong to you? I could not believe it. And I said, yes. And he says, would you like to have it back? He says his father found it at an estate sale about 20 years earlier. And this is way before this man even ever had children. And he says, do you want to have it back? And my first thought was, I don't want to take anything from your children. He says, I spoke to my children and they want you to have it back. And they sent it back to me in 2015. It now hangs on the wall. And so I wrote a song with Paul called You Came Home, My Old Friend.
Oh, wonderful.
All right, here it goes.
Great intro.
When I first met you, I was a kid, played with you every day. Concerts for friends that would never end, shows that would go on all day. We traveled together when we were so young, summer camp vacations, and then no one remembers what happened one day, but I never saw you again. You came home, my old friend, thought I'd never see you again. We were young when we met, when our story started back then. You have traveled so far, now you came home. Years went by and time had moved on. Our story was meant to be. Somebody noticed that you had a past and that you belong back with me. I never knew how you came to be in a city so far, far away. New friends were made by an innocent deed, changed my life, took my breath away. You came home, my old friend, thought I'd never see you again. We were young when we met, when our story started back then. You have traveled so far, now you came home. If you could talk and tell where you've been all these years, you could bring back the happiness, even the tears. You came home, my old friend, thought I'd never see you again. We were young when we met, when our story started back then. You have traveled so far, now you came home. One more time. You came home, my old friend, thought I'd never see you again. We were young when we met, when our story started back then. You have traveled so far, you have traveled so far, you have traveled so far, now you came home.
Beautiful. That's wonderful.
Thanks.
It's a great song. So
And now
did
it
you
sits on my shelf.
You wrote the melody and words, or?
Paul writes the melodies. I help with the melodies. I tweak. I give him thoughts and suggestions, but
Okay.
he's just a magician. He makes it happen.
All right, and you're the lyricist.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And the ideas.
And the ideas. Just
right.
wonderful. Wonderful. All right, stay
Thanks.
there, Susie. We're going to bring Joni back on. Joni.
Unmuting,
Joni.
start my
There,
video.
there you are.
Ta-da!
And there's
How,
Susie.
how'd I do, Joni? How'd I do?
That was amazing. I love that song so much.
Thank
That is
you.
beautiful.
You're so
I love it.
talented.
You
Thanks.
both, you
You have
both
to
are
also
so
know,
wonderful.
not just as a songwriter, but as an educator, I have just learned so much from you and you, both of you.
That's all
So
right.
thank you.
Susie's been you. Listen, you both bring so much joy to this world, and it needs you so badly, especially its youth. I can't explain what's going on right now, but I look for the gifts. And the gifts in these moments are things like this. Who would have ever thought that I would be able to have the two of you on together with me? And we all three of us would be having a little mini Miami reunion. And look at the talent that has come out of Miami. Just look.
Yeah.
So we are all so, so blessed.
Well, I
And
got to tell you that I can probably speak for Joni also, that we are grateful, first of all, to you, Rochelle, because you're the Pied Piper. You're the leader that,
doesn't stop piping.
that, I love to come to Miami and see you whenever possible. I consider you my clergy of all time, and Lisa Siegel also, and my clergy at Congregation B'nai Israel is awesome and wonderful. But Temple Beth Am is where I got started in my roots, and Joni also, and so many people that when I come back and help lead High Holidays, and the people are there, I feel like I've never left. I feel like I'm always at home. I know, Joni, when you've gone back, we see people that I see your family, Joni. When I go to Miami, I see your family too. So, but I'm totally grateful to Temple Beth Am and to you, Rochelle.
Well, thank you so much, but you guys have done it yourself. So, so Joni, what's up in the future for you? What's the next thing you think you'll be doing?
Well, that is a mystery. I think that just depends on when a vaccine is found and when we'll be able to tour again, because right now I am getting calls from places across the country that I had booked that are moving their tour dates to the fall, to the winter, to the following year. And there's no way to know. And I know that some states are opening up, but I don't know how safe it would be to fly across the country, stay in a hotel, have my bandmates in the car with me, yada, yada, yada. So
Right.
a lot of my work is through touring and selling albums at a merch table. So I just want to say to anybody that's out there, because I feel like I'm preaching to the choir when I speak to musicians all the time. But for those of you that are not musicians and many other industries, but especially musicians right now, we really have no way to know when we're going to be working again. If you are lucky enough to have a full-time job like both of you do, that is amazing. I don't. Many of my friends do not. I have part-time work that I don't know if will continue because we don't know if schools will be open in the fall here in New York. So it's really a big mystery. So I want to go back to what I was saying about purchasing albums, but also if you are a programming director across the country and you're doing series like this featuring musicians, like this is what we are relying on right now, bringing our music to your communities and doing that. So not just for exposure, but literally so we could pay our rent and feed our kids. So we're grateful for this platform to be able to say this to people that may not even know that this is going on with musicians, and hopefully this will be heard because, I mean, it's crazy.
Right. And so what I'm urging everyone who's listening tonight is to make sure that they buy your music and download it and play it and enjoy it for themselves, enjoy it for their children. And if we find a vehicle where we can bring you in you guys sort of remotely to do some programs with our kids. That would be another great thing.
That'd
And
be great.
Susie, do you have anything on what's going on with you and your synagogue?
Right now, the synagogue is closed. They're starting summer camp in a couple of weeks with a very small, limited amount of people, especially in the classrooms. I will be teaching from my lovely studio right here in my living room, which, I've said on numerous occasions that if this all happened, I don't know, 15 years ago, we'd be sitting in the dark and we would not be able to do what we're doing. So the fact that I can sit here and I could see, on Zoom or whatever, all the streaming places we can go to and sing for the children is brilliant and amazing. So I will be teaching from here, but also I have some gigs at some summer camps that I will be doing from here to either their virtual summer camp or their physical summer camp. So that just depends. And just like Joni, I sing at birthday parties and I sing at holiday parties and events and whatever. And I'm sitting tight in my home also. And until they find a vaccine or whatever, this is where you'll find me. But if I'd love to come and sing. I don't have any specific dates. Well, I mean, I do for summer camps, but besides that, for parties and whatnot. But I'd love to come and Zoom your birthday party with you.
That's great.
Yeah. I just did a fun birthday party on Zoom. It was a lot of
you?
fun.
Yeah.
That's
And I do have a bunch of concerts that are coming up with different communities. I'm hopeful for more. I was heavily relying on my summer touring schedule, which was jam-packed and is now empty. Some shows have committed to doing virtual shows, but there were some rather large festival type shows, like big
Right.
festivals like Lollapalooza and Awesome City Limits. They're not happening. So all musicians are scrambling and we're all trying to figure it out. But
Yeah.
support musicians as much as you can.
Not easy to sing with a mask on right now, but that's why it's easier. I'm happy that I could do it from my home without wearing a mask, and so that I could smile at the children. They could see our facial expressions because we don't just sing with our voices; we sing with our whole being. And your eyes light up, and especially as I both of us, we sing for children and for adults. But either way, I could sing a song just like with a straight face for anybody, and it doesn't translate like it does when you are animated, and especially with children.
3D, not 2D.
Right, exactly. So, but with the mask, it definitely stops you.
It's been so wonderful to listen to both of you and to have us all together. And I want to thank you, Joni. I want to thank you, Susie, for being with us. I hope that everyone that's listening will immediately start purchasing your music and support musicians, Jewish musicians especially. Little prejudice here. Actually, support all musicians. I take that back. All musicians. And Andrea Levine, wherever you are, thank you so much for being the producer of this program, The Jewish Voice. I love you all. Mwah. Have a great night and stay healthy.
Thank you.
Same to you.
I love you. I love you.
Love you both. Bye.